C-suite leaders must invest in greater connection. Do you agree? Connection is, an authentic connection is one of the biggest trends going on right now. And C-suite leaders and senior leaders are looking to better connect with themselves when it comes from personal branding and knowing their values and principles, to connect with their teams and their employees for better retention and engagement, and ultimately connection with their communities in terms of building a thought leadership brand, creating impact, and being part of their story. And so it's important for C-suite and senior leaders to think about how they connect. They need to think about what is the value of a relationship. And when you think about that, and we look at the challenges that C-suite and senior leaders have, not just in the corporate world, but even in the nonprofit world and charities, people at a higher level, they're struggling to connect better. They are fearful of sharing their values and sharing their vulnerability and trying to be more authentic. And just from that aspect, trying to figure that out. At the same time, they also want to connect with their employees, their senior teams, their lower teams, their employees, and their customers, clients, and partners. And by understanding how they connect and how they engage and knowing what their brand is, they're going to do a much better job of doing that and creating more impact. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm excited to announce that DYPB is running their 6th annual conference in Toronto, August 16th, and the theme is The Power of Connection, how C-suite leaders better connect with themselves, their teams, their communities. But what I'd like to learn from you guys is maybe tell me what you think are some of the biggest challenges for senior leaders and C-suite leaders to develop themselves from a branding perspective, from a connection perspective, from relationships, engagement. I'm curious what they are, because if you know what they are, I'd love for you to comment below and let me know what those things are. I'm going to share a bit about what I see some of those things are. So let's start with the first one, which is connection with themselves. So a lot of people I know, when I did my MBA 20 years ago, a lot of my friends are now, vice presidents and senior directors and CEOs of big companies and nonprofit organizations and foundations. And often they'll message me saying that, they're feeling a little bit unfulfilled in their workplace, or they're feeling stuck in terms of how do I get more engagement with what I'm trying to do, or how do I take my role as a senior vice president and get it to the next level and get to that senior level. And they feel a bit stuck or unfulfilled. How do I take what I'm doing great at right now and take it to even greater greatness? And so connection and relationship building is a big part of it. If you understand who you are, what your values are, and align that with the story, legacy, and purpose that you're trying to create for yourself, you're going to be able to understand how you operate, how you're perceived by others, and then how you can take your actions and behaviors and your impact and create that legacy that you want for your life, your business, and beyond. And it's not just about your business anymore. It's about your life. Because at the end of the day, people are going to remember you for what you did in your life and that life that you served and how you committed to people. So that's the first piece. The second piece is all about connecting with your teams. So, you may have a team of senior vice presidents or directors or managers. You may have teams of employees or large number of employees. How do you engage with them? One of the biggest challenges in the corporate workspace today is the fact that retention. People don't stay with a company for very, very long. So how can you create an environment and engage with them better as a leader so that people want to stay? Engagement and retention are huge. So if you create more engagement, you create more satisfaction, you create more motivation, you create more accessibility to you, then you're going to be able to do a much better job of creating that engagement and that retention. That people want to stay, people will be loyal to you. And that ultimately will lead to greater productivity, as opposed to the old ways, which is the authoritarian way, and barking and yelling at people. You need to actually invest in people and connect with them on a deeper level and understand who they are and what their story is and how their story will align with your organizational brand and how you can help them foster them and help them grow as well. And so learning to do that is also going to come from how you communicate, how you influence, how you persuade, understanding the psychology, neuroscience of things. And that's how you connect with teams. The third thing to think about is how you connect with your community. So ultimately, every single one of you has a thought leadership brand. Now, how big that brand is, how impactful it is, how positive it is, that's entirely up to you. And you have to think about what you're doing to impact your communities. Your communities can be many things. A community of workers, a community of C-suite leaders, a community of hobbyists or enthusiasts, a community of people that are part of your religion or your ethnicity group or any sort of interest like biking. How do you actually engage in those communities, not just as yourself, but also as an organization? And that connection piece is another thing that a lot of organizations struggle with. They're trying to create more authentic, vulnerable, digital connection. They're trying to create community. They're trying to actually do a much better job of doing that. And so learning to take what you have and harness it in a way that takes you to the next level in terms of community engagement, building those communities, and then responding to them and providing value, that's also where you're going to create great impact as part of your legacy. So the whole Power of Connection event that we're doing is really designed to do that. It's a one-day event on August 16th, brought to you by Discover Your Brand, DYPB, and we put together some really amazing speakers. So we are bringing in Dr. Bryn Weingart, who's going to talk about the neuroscience and brain science of leadership and influence, which can be amazing. We're bringing in Lila Smith from New York City, who's an expert in communication and communicating your values and being very active in terms of how you engage and persuade people. I'm going to do my own workshop session on how to build a huge and impactful thought leadership personal brand for yourself. And then Carrie Twiggs flying in from the West, who's going to talk about how do we put it all together and look at your career, because at a certain point you're going to want to take your career, now they want to take it up or take it sideways or take it out to create your own movement or build up in your own company. So and we're going to open with a great speech by Alexander Michael Giddens. He's going to talk about I Am Legacy. Again, he's a fantastic world-class strategist. So we have some really amazing people coming to this event. I hope you'll check it out. Check out the link below. Early bird tickets are 25% off until July 26th. And VIP tickets give you a chance to get to the VIP lunch as well as a VIP reception afterwards. Exclusive access to all the speakers that are going to be there. And there's a few more we haven't announced yet. And on top of that, you will get a 15-minute mentoring session with one of the experts that's going to be there. So I'd love to learn more from you in terms of what you think are some of the biggest opportunities for developing connection and developing relationships and building the value relationships for senior leaders out there in the corporate and nonprofit sector. Comment below. Let me know what you think. And I'd love to, and if you know anyone that'd be interested in this event, by all means, send them the link, let them know all about it. We're really excited because we have a limited number of seats, but I'm very excited to present this as part of a 6th annual DYPB conference. All right, so wish you guys all the best, and remember, the value of a relationship is something you can continue to invest again and again and again, whether it's yourself, the people around you, or whether it's the world. And you need to think about what exactly is going to be your impact, your story, your legacy. Because if you can do that, that's what people are going to remember about you, and that's what they're going to say about you. All right? Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys soon.